My name is Sarah Grandinetti, and I am here with the beautiful Marie from, where are you at right now, Marie?
I am in Europe. I'm in France.
In France. I thought so, but I thought, well, she could be traveling. I don't
Yeah.
know. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. And one of the things that I love about the way that we do this show is that we don't script it, and we let the BYCF who comes on to chat choose the topic. So
Yeah.
right before we came on, we were chatting about what would be fun for us to talk about. And what I love what you said. It was, let's just talk about the gift of the Being You tools. And I said, yes, let's do that. So here we are. And I would love to have you tell our friends out there, when did you become a Being You Certified Facilitator?
Just this year, it was in June. So it's very new, and in the same time that creates so much. So this is also the magic about we can talk. It's how this tool can bring many things in a very short time. And in this gift of tools, it's also how with Being You tools specifically, you can have more ease, because you don't have to use tools. You just have to find the way to being you, and it's so much easier than learn anything or a practice, or
I'm gonna apologize ahead of time for the barking dog, because I have a choice in this moment. I can stay here and be me and talk about being you, or I can go scream at a dog, which probably won't be any fun for anybody. So we're just gonna have background dog noise for a minute. Okay, so I would love to explore a different avenue with you specifically, because it just popped in a different direction. So you're brand new Being You Certified Facilitator. It means you were, in order, for those who don't know, you have to already be a certified facilitator with access consciousness in order to go play with any of the specialties. And there are a lot of specialties in access that cover a gamut of topics that people out there are looking for. And our specialty classes for access actually don't have any prereqs. So you can have never done any other classes and hear about a Being You class, or a conscious parents, conscious kids class, or a right voice for you class, or a right body for you class, or Wealth Creators Anonymous class. There's lots of them. And just go to get more information. So the gift that a certified facilitator that chooses to be in these specialty topics is that they get to spread like tools to change your life in totally different ways, because they get to be a different invitation. Because when we're certified facilitators, the other things that we create are with prereqs. You have to have taken a bars class, or a foundation class to get to this telecall or stuff like that. So hi Deb, hi Penelope, hi Parita. Hello everybody, thank you for being here. And if you love me today, will you share this? That's my manipulation. That's my manipulation tool, is when I ask people to share things, we wink at them. Okay, so what I wanted to ask you, as somebody who just chose BYCF, is like, for the certified facilitators out there that might watch this, like, what is it contributing to you? What is it contributing to your business to be a specialty facilitator of this specialty?
When I chose that, it was because I have this awareness. This is a beautiful gift to suggest classes for people to bring them. And for me, the way, as I said, more easy to create, to arrive where I would like to go, etc., is to being me. In fact, in the past, I use a lot my brain, and when I use my perception and intuition and my vision of things, it was more easy. So I just would like to share this tool I discovered for me, to invite people at this ease of being them, and don't have to anymore to use control or think or everything we use in this reality that don't allow us to have ease with ourselves. And we don't have to define who we are. It's really the gift of this class is just to invite people to discover what they are already but don't choose yet. So it was why I would like to become a BYCF facilitator, and the space where I would like to invite people to discover themselves.
That's amazing. And I love what you said there, like that, how those tools created for you, and that's what drove you to want to be a Being You facilitator. That's awesome. Because that's you desiring to be the contribution and play differently with what you've received. Let me cut my chair a little bit. I want to dive into like your favorite tools and such things. But can you tell me how if you were before you were BYCF and then after, what gift has it been for you to be able to invite people to a class with that doesn't have the prereqs, that has Being You as the title? Like I know I'm going a little bit different direction, but I just, this conversation has been up in Access, and right now I was like, I've been asking like, who can I have this conversation with? And then you show up today and you're like, I just became a BYCF. And I remember seeing you at the training and I'm like, okay. So the universe is providing me something here to have a different conversation. So I just wanted to know, and then we'll go elsewhere. But in creating with these tools and in creating, like you said, like from a space of like, this changed for me and I want other people to have it, and there being no prereq, like how have you found more ease in inviting people with your specialty to your classes, or has it expanded on your business? I just would love the CFs that are going to watch to have more information about choosing this. Not, I mean, BYCF or any other specialty. Just what can you tell them, and then we can play with tools.
Yeah. For me, it's like I don't ask too much question or what is good to do, or I don't look at think is doing around me, what other people or other facilitator doing. I really ask a question, what I would like to create, what invitation I would like to be. So I am in my space of creativity, very in this space Being You. And to create this class, to create invitation, I have some ideas come, like create group where people can discover just access tool, but in this way of Being You. So because what is very weird for me, it's I really choose this topic because this speaks a lot for me. And when you ask people what is Being You for you, they have no idea. And this class, it's so they have no definition. They don't know what is this class. And I realize the way I did in vulnerability with me, to look at all limitation, to arrive finally in this space to being me. It's could be a choice not in comfort, that could have in comfort, and it's the space between people and this class. So my invitation is to share my experience and share tools where people can more and more open the door to be just front of the class and say what that this class can create for me. And this is the time to choose to being me and create the life I know possible, but I don't know how. And this class bring you this amazing tool to really go in this way, to know how you can do now you are ready.
Amazing. Thank you. I love what you said there, because that is the invitation we get to be with the Being You tools is, hey, I know you've been told by every billboard, every t-shirt, every bumper sticker, hey, be your authentic self, be you, all these things. And yet no one's telling you how. And so the gift of being, what I've noticed for my Being You classes, the gift of having this class that requires no prereqs, no background, anybody can show up and be it. Being You is like on everything, like I mentioned, that they're like, oh, there's a class on that now? Like there's a class on me getting to know what it's like to be me. Okay, cool, I'll choose it. And it's gifted so much to my facilitation business and the contribution I get to be back to Access and whatnot. So I'll go into a city, do a Being You class, and then they're like, I want more. And then I've directed them to the CFs or whatever in the area to have the foundation, or decide that I'm going to go back in the area and do the foundation, but mostly just hand off the people who chose it based on the Being You title, and then want more and get to go to these other classes that require that there's a prereq thing for. So I just wanted to hit on that a little bit and see where we could go with it. So when you say like the tools to create a greater life, or the tools to have more of you, or you're not worrying what other people are doing, what does that look like for you? Because a lot of people, even in Access, are always worrying what other people are creating, and they're not, when they're doing that, they're not being them. So what tools do you use to keep you knowing the gift that you are and the unique being that you are?
The thing it's I start with attending my a class. I did this class with Dr. Dane here, and I leave this class and I perceive the energize of being you. So the gift of this class is to explain what is being you. We can speak about many tools, but when you are in class, you have something open for you where you perceive what is being you. So I will talk about tools help for that and help me a lot. But when we have to describe this class Being You, it's really a class you have to live. It's the invitation. This is a space, an energetic space of being, really different in other classes. You are on your chair. You are here. The facilitator is doing all this clearing, all this tool, etc. And in the moment, you don't have the clarity about, wow, this is the space I am. And you, even if you know Access tools, you use them in really a different space. It's a different space, Being You, than other classes. So the first tool I can speak about is the question, because the question, you have this tool to perceive what is right for you is not right, what is light or heavy. So what is really true for you and work for you or not. And when you ask a question, you can never be in the wrong way. So this tool in Being You, as Being You facilitator, and in my life now, I don't go anymore in conclusion, in control of think, but really ask a question to ask, is it something will create something I would like to see in my life? Is it light for me? And also when I follow this energize, I'm always in this ease of living rather than the difficulty and thinking of living. So for me, it's really the tool I use to stay in my Being You space,
Yeah, I thank you. That's a great reminder for me too. And like you said, the ease of living. So how many of us out there are like struggling every day, struggling to get by, struggling to get through the day? Like the work week ends and you're like, oh, finally, like I can breathe. And then you only have 2 days a week to, like, not even 2 days, because if you're Monday through Friday worker, you enjoy Saturday, then somewhere around noon on Sunday, you start getting back into the energy of like the work week, and you're like, oh, and then, and what kind of way is to live your life like that? And Access, we always say, what if the purpose of life was to have fun? What if you have it totally backwards? What if everything's opposite it appears to be, and you're supposed to be living to have fun, living with joy, with ease, with glory, like the mantra of Access. And I that's one of the things that I adore about the Being You tools, is that it really is getting to that core. I know I just had a class in Omaha a couple weeks ago, and when people like are brand new and they're like, I don't know what to expect, someone just told me to come, and I was like, okay, which is basically them following the energy, but we won't tell them that because they think they're not energetic beings yet. And then there was this beautiful man. He was a local radio show host that had me on an interview a few weeks before. And I just fell in love with him. And so I said, you know what, come to the class as my guest. And he was like, I would love to. So he comes. And about halfway through the page, we're talking about what it is to be you. And what I said to him was, or to the class, I was like, so all those days that like are really clunky, that are really heavy, that are that are like, you just can't wait to close your eyes and start a new day. What if that is you actually aware of the energies around you and it's not you? And it was something like that. And then he grabbed the mic. He's like, okay, Sarah. So what you're saying is, if I heard you correctly, that when I'm not happy, joyful, laughing, light, having a good time, that I'm not being me.
Yeah, totally.
So that other stuff, that's not me. That's what you're telling me. And I was like, yeah, like if that's all you get out of this weekend, please take that. And everybody just roared because it was the most basic acknowledgement that could change everything in your life. And he just put it so brilliantly. And I just melted because it was him actually for the first time acknowledging the energy and the being of him, because he's like so much fun. I was like, when you're on the radio, you're like laughing, you're having a good time, you're all these things. Listen, you get off the radio and you think all this other shit is you, like silly, like that's you firing on all cylinders. So you guys, if you're listening to this, to what Maria was saying before, it's like when you're having ease of living, it's when you're firing on all cylinders, you're not worrying about what everybody around you is doing. You're totally following the awareness that you have to what you want to create in the world. You have lightness of being, and the rest of the crap is just stuff that like you have to just kind of like you just deal with. You're like, oh, that showed up. Okay, cool. Where's the magic to create ease with that? Okay, cool. And you're just having so much fun and joy of living that is you, right? So like this other stuff that we think is like, oh my gosh, my life is so like that's the 2 million people in the population around you that you're picking up psychically that you're buying as you. So that's what the beauty this class gives you. So there's so many things in the chat, which is so rad. Kathy, will you private message me about that? The New Year's Eve fiesta. I would love to tell you more about that, but not on this show. I mean, I could tell you, but everybody who's watching is invited to New Year's Eve at my house with a body palooza after. Selena wants to know, what would you tell people to make them curious about this class? Like, how do you invite?
The thing amazing with this class, and you don't have to do many things. If you are in this energy and you are willing, you choose to be you, people are interested to know how you do that. So it's really what I said, this class, when you are in this space being you, create is in every part of your life and in your business too. You don't have to think how you have to be finally to invite people. You're just being you. So you use the tool for you. So you have more joy, you are more light, you create things totally irrational just because it's funny, and people saw that and say, wow, how you do that? And I just say, yes, I just choose that because it's joyful for me, it's a contribution for me and for people. And after I just say, is that being you? And I begin to ask them question, what you would like your life look like? I don't know if it's well English, but you understand what I would like to say.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, and I began to ask a question, and people perceive this space, or yeah, wow, something is possible, something inspired me, and how I could create that in my life. And they are curious to discover this tool. So this is the gift to be BYCF. It's to bring this ease in your life. And you don't have, like in this society, to do many effort or to have to convince people. You are a space of invitation, and people are curious and so grateful for the invitation you are. And when it's time for them, they say, okay, I jump in the adventure, me too.
Yes, I jump in the adventure for me too. I love that. The joy of, one of the greatest things I love about what you just said and the invitation we get to be is like when we're stepping into it. So when you're being a facilitator of anything, like there's something that happens magically, molecules from the universe come in, and I feel like they swirl around you when you're the facilitator, and a lot or most of your shit goes out the door, like a lot. So you're like more dynamically you. And in that space, like, so the gift, like the question I keep asking is like, what would it be like to have that show up every day? Like, not just when I'm facilitating, and it's getting easier and easier and easier to be that. And so the invitation we get to be of like the adventure of being us, people are like, whoa, yeah, I'll have that. I'm going to jump on that bus and have that party. Thank you for saying that. And that's part of what it is to create these classes and the ease that's there. So Kathy said her favorite question is, who am I being now that if I'd stop it, I could have all of me. That's amazing. Acknowledging when you're not being you, Kathy, is one of the tools, and it's absolutely brilliant. Kathy also says, what if working is simply all about having fun? Sure changed my world big time. It was our dinner conversation at our family meal last night. And then Selena says, where's the magic to create ease with that? Love it. Okay. Hi, Mauricio. I'm sending you back a hug. Maurice's in Brazil. And then Penelope says, this class also infuses a very special energy that will melt any lie. What do you have to say about that? So the lies that we tell ourselves about us, what is that? What can you do with that?
These lies are the necessity we have to not be wrong. And in this space of being your class, you go out of this polarity of be right, be wrong. You just want to create something make you more happy. So when you go beyond that, you have more choice first, and you can also be different. Second thing, and it's what we learn in this class is we don't have to be normal. You don't have to be same other people, and we become to discover also the gift we are in our difference. And it's what is so wonderful when you are being your facilitator. So it's you see the gift and the beauty of people, and you begin to look at them with this capacity to put in their world something they can choose, and then they become to perceive it's possible. So you open something, and people, they don't have after to choose that, but not in the rightness or the wrongness, just in the space of possibilities. They know it's possible. And it's beautiful thing also when you facilitate, you don't say people you have to do that to be happy. You ask a question, and in fact people have all this this awareness. They have that in them, but they don't know they know that. So when you facilitate that and you see the changement, and people begin to be aware of that and choose that, it's amazing the magic you can create in one intro or one day adventure. And more you are with people, more you open. But I saw magic in intro in just 1.5 hour. People just have this light in their eyes. They say, wow, I just actualize something I never want to recognize, but I don't have to learn anything. I have everything, and in fact I can begin to choose that.
Yeah, that's great, because the acknowledgement that you spoke of, that people know, they just don't know that they know. And so our jobs as facilitators is to ask questions to get to their awareness, not to tell them how to be or how to do it, because I don't know what it's like to be you, but I can ask you questions for you to get to the awareness of what it's like to be you. Which is really funny when you think about it. Like if I would never, ever be able to fly a jet plane, would it make sense that I would then go teach a class about flying jet planes if I could never, ever fly one? Like, so like when you go to like self-help workshops or whatever, like even the big names, and they're telling you how to be you, how to live your life, they don't know. They can never give you the right answer, because there is no right answer in anybody else but you. You're the one that knows. And if you have any awareness, like if you have any question in your world, you guys, I say this a lot in classes, it's because the reason you have a question is because somewhere swirling maybe in your like locked away with keys and padlocks and all the things is the awareness that you're looking for. So you only have a question not only, but a lot of the times you have questions because you actually have the awareness to what it will answer the question. So if you're sitting in class ever and you have something like pounding in your head about, and then you like, should I ask this question? Yes, please, because the facilitator should ask you a question back to get to your awareness that you're hiding, which is why you have a question about it. When I first heard that, I was like, oh my God. I thought a lot of, since childhood, we're trained to believe that the only reason we have questions is because we don't know.
Yeah.
We only ask a question about something we don't know about. And what Access is here to tell you is that you have a question because you do know. And we're here to empower you to know that you know. Can you tell me what your go-to tool is, Marie, that you use? Kind of like, do you have a go-to question that gets you out of the stick, or the thing that like reminds you to get back to you? I just wanted to leave people today with like one little tool that they could use without ever attending a class. If they have never attended a class, or until they attend a class, what can we give them today?
About question?
Well, just, do you have a tool or a question that you use?
Oh, yeah.
It's like I have a couple go-tos. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me just ask this question right now, and I'll get like my barometer back of where I'm at, who I am, who I be.
You can ask a really simple question, because people always search the difficult question on the complicated question to have the right answer. And you just ask the question, what is really being you for me? What could be fun for me? What I love about last tool of Dr. Dane here, it's what I make impossible, that in fact it is possible for me. And just this space where you don't go in your conclusion or impossibility, but you begin to go in this adventure of being. So, okay, what I make impossible, that I could choose possibilities on that. So that could be something you can start to left a limited reality to a reality of possibility, and also to turn around always the same thing, because it's so tired to do every time the same thing, and want to move place, but you always stuck in the same place. So also, what I can choose different to create something different could be an amazing question to move place and begin to be in the new space where you continue to ask a question. But in this new space, if you ask a question, you can have more awareness, more perception, and more ease to choose, because you don't stuck in the same limited possibilities.
That was a great example. Thank you so much, because of what you're saying is like, if we ask a question, we get out of that stuck place, and then we're not in the next time we ask the question, we're not in the same place. So we can keep like bunny hopping or leaping or whatever you're choosing by just asking questions. And a lot of times you notice that like people are, when we'll say tools and then we'll say ask a question, and then they want to make it harder than it is. I mean, I know I did that too for a very, very, very long time. And so what Marie is inviting you guys to today, that we'd love to leave you with before we go, is that, and to also remind you, like people who are like seasoned CFs that still get into your shit, like put a question on repeat in your head. And anytime you start to go to the conclusion, the heaviness, the stuck, the whatever, just keep that question rolling. Actually, the question that you were, of Dane's that basically was in every class for a very long time is like, what is actually possible for you that you don't think is possible for you, that if you allowed for the possibilities would actualize a new reality. And I sing that. I actually get up in the morning and I go through my day and I have a little tune and it'll get stuck in your head. And we did a class in India and we had everybody like singing it out the door every day, because even in that space, there's an energy to a question that even if you've never done any self-help work or self-empowerment or anything, there's an energy to a question, a true question, that it has a molecule of, they have molecules in that question that changes the algorithm of what you're sitting in. So even if it's like the darkest place, if you're willing to ask a question on repeat in your head, if that's what's required, you will change the darkness. Done.
Yes. And it's also acknowledge you can change everything.
Mm-hmm.
If really you acknowledge that, the question is the tool. You don't have to do nothing more to ask a question to change the situation who you are. And when you don't ask a question, it's the place where you can move. So this is really the magic tool. We can speak during hours because question open more space, and with other question and with other possibilities. So, and this is also the importance we make about the right question and the right result. Is just if you don't have any expectation of the question, and this is really something bring me a lot. It's to be curious and really trust the universe. So let it go this control, because when I don't control the result and trust the universe, I always have a result I never imagined. And this is also the magic of question and follow what you know, what is fun and light for you. So you go in your way, in being your way, and you have result you can create with your mind, but you create with your knowledge. So this is just wonderful.
You create with the acknowledgement. Thank you. And what you were saying is like, if you're going along, I like saw a picture in my head, and that's often how I see things, but like, if you've done the work or had the fun of like being you, and you're starting to play with that, you will get just like the guy Dave that I told you guys about in my class earlier, when he finally had it pop open, that the fun, the joy, the lightness, even if that right now isn't how you like make your money, okay, the fun, the joy, the lightness, that's you. Everything else is crap. Like everything else you bought is a lie. It's not you. So even if this, like, so everywhere we've decided that like, if it's not work and hard and it's not what brings me money, then it's not valuable. And then the fun, the joy, the lightness, we have to keep it on the side. Like dessert, you know, like you just get a little bit of dessert. You have a whole plate of working hard and, you know, being heavy in your life and not really enjoying life. But then you get a little bit of dessert and you can just sit on the side. What if you're the dessert and you're buying that plate is real? So what Marie's inviting you to, and what I'm inviting you to, is to start asking questions that actually takes that bowl of dessert and like starts to spread it out. Now, I'm not really a big dessert fan. So if you're not a dessert fan, just change the analogy however you want. But if you start to ask questions about the space that you get to be in this world, things will start to shift and show up and change. And then it's like when the heaviness starts to seep in, you're like, oh, I am strawberry shortcake. I'm vanilla pudding. I'm a sticky bun, whatever. I'm this. Like when you start to sprinkle shit pie on top of my strawberry shortcake, I'm going to know that it's not me so dynamically, because I've made that demand to know that the joy, the lightness, the fun, the ease, that's me. And that has been like my world lately. There are a ton of fires in California. People are losing their homes everywhere. Animals are displaced. There's just like, and it's cloudy and dark. So all of the like sky is not clear and it's gray and everybody's eyes are burning. And it's just like not as much fun as it could be. And I'm highly aware of the loss and the tragedy and all the things that are going on and how many people are projecting it. That's the worst thing ever. And so in the last few weeks, I've had some really, I'm being vulnerable here, but like some really dark moments where I'm like, wow, if I didn't have the tool of who does this belong to, if I didn't have the tool of knowing I am the strawberry shortcake and the shit pie is trying to sit on my head right now, I would believe this to be so real that I could probably turn a very sharp corner very quickly. And I in the last few weeks have never been more grateful for the power of question and the tools of access consciousness and the Being You tools to be able to know, like, I am joy, I am fun, I am ease, I am glory, I am all of those things. And so, okay, cool. I'm just highly aware. I'm just highly aware and I'm highly tapped in and I don't have to do anything about it.
Yes. And the question is also the space, or you move on. every time you ask a question, you don't stay in the same place of tragedy, etc. That, yes, this is what is it, but what is it? But if you say just what else is possible, you just project to open the door to the future and don't think of the past or stay on the same place. So the question, it's also always to move on and always to add in your life, even if it's a tragedy or thing so amazing in your life, you never stay in place. And this move of living also, you always add, and whatever you had, you learn always something. There is always a contribution behind that. And it's this tool, everything, it's the opposite. It's
Appears.
what is seems to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and nothing is the opposite seems to be. So if you don't look at things just in one way, but sometimes you just move a little and look at that in a different way, you say, wow, in fact, what contribution, how that will move something, a piece in my life that can begin to move other piece. And so the question, it's the tool also to never stop you, but always be in action, in movement, and add possibilities.
Yes. Okay, so we're wrapping up our time here. Can you tell me where people can find you? What classes you have coming up? What's the best way to contact you?
I am on Facebook. My page is Marie Sandrine CF. I am everywhere in the world. In fact, this is with this tool Being You, I let door open to go where I can be a contribution and people would like to see this class. So for the moment, I will have a masterclass Being You in France, in Marseille, in December. So from the 13th to the 15th December. So it's online too. It will be in French, but if that can create something for other people who want to join us in another language, everything is possible. And I have also a French speaker group, Being You, where people can take clearings, etc. So yeah, I think. And a very last thing I would like to add, it's ask you the question if there is sometimes in your life when you do something and people say you, how are you do that? And you say, I don't know. And in fact, you don't think about how you have to create things, but you just do and things show up. So this is also the way to Being You, to acknowledge what you have created with ease and how you can choose to be that rather than to control what you want to create. So many people ask you how you do, but many times I say, I don't know. I just do, choose, ask a question and go on. So just go on and see what surprise you can receive.
Thank you for that addition. So reaching out to you on Facebook, and you have a class in France in December 15th starting.
Yeah.
And do you do private facilitation too?
Yes, I do provide facilitation. I facilitate many other classes, other specialty,
Cool.
foundation.
Awesome. So they can find all that out on your CF page to get in touch with Marie.
Yeah.
I wanted to shout out to, because I know some of my hosts are on, I'll be in New York next week doing a Creating Money, the Fuel for Adventures class, which is live and online, and in the weekend it'll be a extended adventure 1.5 day to Being You. So that's in New York City. And to all the CFs out there that are considering this as a as a specialty class, they just announced that the Being You Certified Facilitator training of 2020 is going to be in New York. And so I'm super excited about that. And I just wanted to let all the CFs know like what a gift it is to be on this journey with Dane specific. We're all on the journey with Dane, but like he's the leader of the BYCFs. And to get these tools out in the world, and how easy it is to create, and how much it contributes to all the other classes that we teach, because we are constantly in the tools to be us. And so you guys are invited to that training. And then also just to keep an eye out for what all the specialties are doing in Access, if you're a CF listening, because they contribute dynamically to your business, and how far you can reach out into this world and create change. Just totally changes and shifts, and people will see you in a different light that like is looking for a specific topic, and you get this different exposure. And so anywhere you're not willing, if you're not willing to be seen, don't choose a specialty. But if you're ready to be seen and you're ready to unhide, please get in contact with me. You can get in contact with the people who run the hub for Access. But the specialties are just such a gift, and I just wanted to make sure that like wherever I could put my voice on that for you guys to have that information, please feel free to reach out to me. And then you're welcome, everybody. The last thing I wanted to say, I usually have it next to me, but today I broke my rules. All the tools come out of this beautiful book, Being You, Changing the World. You can get it on Amazon. It's on Audible. It's by Dr. Dane here. And he's pretty awesome. I do say so myself. And so check out this book, or you can go to drdanehere.com and get this book in your hands. All right.
Sarah, you said if you don't want to be seen, don't be You Facilitator. Yes. So if I could add something, I don't want to be seen before, but I took this class. And if you don't want to be seen and you want tools and ease to be seen, please choose Being You training, because this is also to recognize the gift you are, and how hiding you is just not joyful. So I am an example of BYCF, don't want to be seen, and how this training contribute a lot of my life and my business.
Well, it's a great point, because how much of the stuckness that we buy is real and true is actually how hard we have to work to hide ourselves.
Yay.
We're like, I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be seen. And my life is so difficult. That's why I don't want it to be seen. But you actually have to work when you're such a big being that's working so hard to not be seen. Like a lot of times that's the hard, and you get rid of that and you're like willing to be seen, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like cruising, like everything's it shows up with so much more ease when you're not trying to hide you. I know it's a basic thought, but it's pretty dynamic, like life changer. Oh yes, you can. Oh, thank you, Laura. You can also join the Being You book club that's going on right now. I think we're on chapter 8 this week. But you can get all the chapters if you sign up on beingyoubookclub.com. It's pretty awesome. The Being You Certified Facilitators come on, and we read chapters and then facilitate out of the book, and it's awesome. Wonderful. Okay, you guys, you can reach out to either one of us if you have any questions about Being You, if you have any questions about the tools, if you have any questions about the weather. No, I'm not really a weather girl, so don't reach out to me about weather, but if you're going to France and you want to know where Marie is, or you're in France and you want to know Marie is, check her out. Her name should be in the link above, or her page is in the link above. Anywho, I adore you. I will talk to you soon.